to Beyond the Ring, a podcast that covers all things in the stock show industry from the informative to the insane, starring Ryan Rash.
It's that time of year where everybody says, new year, new me. I'd like to ensure everyone that I will remain the same lovable asshole I've always been.
And Dale Hummel.
In the words of the leader of the free world. Let's go, Brandon. I agree.
Now on with the show.
Welcome to Beyond the Ring. This is Dale Hummel, along with co-star Ryan Rash.
Hello, hello, hello.
Ryan, how are you feeling today?
We're not going to talk about that. Moving on, let me tell you about your vice president.
You sound better.
Yeah, anyway, let me tell you about your vice president.
Time out. The chameleon is not mine. She's
Campbell
the one that
Toad.
I thought you promoted earlier.
No, this is your vice president of the United States, second in command.
Of the free world.
In an interview today,
So if
she says,
Joe were to get totally senile, she would be the president.
she's the winner. She's the
If they
champion.
would actually declare him senile to the point where he has no cognitive abilities whatsoever. Zero.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about his cognitive abilities here in a minute. But yeah, today they're having her do all these interviews because at the end of the year, trying to because all of her staff has quit, her numbers are in the toilet, it's just a big old dumpster fire of a mess. Today, she was asked, "What is the biggest threat to the United States?" And her answer was democracy.
You heard this yourself.
Uh-huh.
I cannot believe it. She couldn't have said that.
She did.
No.
Democracy. Mm-hmm.
I have several things I could tell you what I think the biggest threats are.
And the reason she believes this is because if they don't pass the voter registration laws and all this other stuff, that is why democracy is the biggest threat to the United States.
She clarified it even.
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah.
And I apologize for those of you out there listening. I'm in the barn at Arizona National, so we have a little background noise. But we can talk about that here in a little bit. I don't know. Was this a question when she's trying to go somewhere? It wasn't a press conference or anything.
This was an interview. They're making her do several interviews. This was just a sit-down interview.
I noticed she's a little more visible the last week.
Democracy, folks.
Democracy is the biggest threat to the United States.
Threat to the United States.
Not China, not Russia.
Democracy.
Not
That's great.
The southern border. Not COVID.
Nope.
Not
Nope.
anything. Democracy.
Democracy. That's the biggest threat.
Well, when they put her out in
She's
front
a
of...
heartbeat away from leading the free world, and that's her beliefs.
Well, how'd you like Santa Claus, Christmas? I don't know what the interview was with.
That was
with your president
thing ever. Yeah, my president, the greatest thing ever. So Joe and Jill Biden are tracking Santa, and they're taking calls, and he's sniffing small children or whatever.
They're sitting on the couch.
Yeah, and so this one guy calls. And he's talking to him, and at the end, he says, "Well, I just wanted to wish y'all a Merry Christmas, and let's go, Brandon." And Joe Biden, the president, leader of the free world, responds, "Let's go, Brandon. I agree." So Joe basically said that he needed to F himself, because that's what "Let's go, Brandon"
We need to, and I think he said, "I agree," and then "Let's go, Brandon."
No,
Yes.
He said, "Let's go, Brandon. I agree."
Okay. That's how he had it in that order. It doesn't matter there. So so let's I need to understand this.
I almost
better.
fell off the bed.
I have to wrap my head around this, and I can't. So do you think he's unaware of that phrase?
Okay, so this has been a huge thing in the news cycle today. And everyone at the White House swears that they've explained this to him. They don't know why, that it was just a lapse or whatever. If you would have seen his wife's face, she wanted to crawl underneath the couch and be swallowed up by the earth.
I did see that part.
And so there's no way he hasn't heard this. I mean, it's a huge trending thing on social media, has been.
Even if you tried to isolate him so he wouldn't know about it, I don't think you could.
Right.
Ryan, when we walk into a restaurant or a door around here for some reason in Arizona, and at the airport, my son Chase just flew and I picked him up a little while ago. They're talking about "Let's go, Brandon" stickers everywhere. You're starting to see it everywhere.
And the reason is because this incident, when this happened, now the liberal nuts are saying this is an insurrection and all this other stuff. And so they're just making it worse. If they just shut up about it, it might die down, but the more that they scream and
just
cry
let them
wolf,
scream. Let's shine more light on it. So there's no way he can't know about the phrase. So he's so incoherent that it just didn't register with him is all the only explanation I can come up with.
That's the only thing I can come up with is that, like,
so he didn't remember it,
right?
Didn't register, so he agrees with it just to kind of just to ad lib play along. Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, like he was just like, oh yeah, let's go, Brandon. I agree. But the whole thing is, if you watch the whole thing, it never clicks on him. It never he literally just, the guy hangs up. Like he says, let's go, Brandon. I agree. And the guy hangs up. He said, sir, are you calling from Oregon? And then he's like, oh, I think we lost him. And Joel said, yeah. And like, it never registered.
That they just disconnected him, all the above. He was totally oblivious to everything.
Like, it probably, until they got done filming that thing, it probably didn't register with what he said.
And it would be in his best interest to not address that at all. But I sure hope they do.
Oh, I don't think, like, surely to God, he won't say anything
well,
about
don't you think that you'd have one of those reporters ask a question about it? They have to.
No, they have to. About it. He doesn't take questions, remember?
What about Circleback? Has she commented on it yet?
I did not. I have not seen anything from her.
I don't know that there's been a press conference since this has happened.
I haven't seen anything from her about it. So
yeah, somebody would have to bring it up. There's no way he can avoid it. No way.
Well, at least your family got to Phoenix, because in the last 72 hours, 2,500 flights have been canceled.
I heard that, and I know you'd mentioned this the other day, and I said something to my wife to double check that. They were on Southwest. You know why I like Southwest, right?
It's cheap.
It is cheap, and I think it's fine. It works fine. I prefer it to some of the others.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, they made it in fine, but it sounds like they're canceling flights. So with that, I'm going to take you into something else. So I'm at Arizona National this week, and we got in yesterday. We got everything unpacked and the goats and the pins, and we decided, okay, we're going to go out to eat. Well, I'm a huge, huge brick oven pizza fan, and I'll oftentimes fly to Las Vegas to go to Grimaldi's, a pizza place that they have several of them out there. I was unaware that they had one of those in Scottsdale, and I think one right here in Phoenix. So I Google it, pops up. I'm excited to go there. We get there, and the restaurant, Ryan, is maybe half full, maybe. I expected it to be more full. And when they said we can seat you right away, but it'll be an hour after you place your order before your pizza comes out. And I know some deep dish pieces, sometimes they take a long time. This is a thin brick oven pizza. Usually when I sit down at one of these restaurants in Vegas, I have that pizza within 5 or 10 minutes. They said it was going to be an hour. I just went with it. And we sat down and had an appetizer, some salad, and waiting on the pizza. And the server comes by, and I got into a conversation with her, and I just asked her what is the situation? Why is it so long? In a friendly manner, just out of curiosity. And it comes right back to what you and I expect. She says, normally we have 5 people back in the kitchen making pizzas. There's 2. And she said, in her situation, if she were to stop working right now, she could make more from unemployment than working there. So people are coming in, working their minimum amount of time to become eligible for unemployment, and then they take off for unemployment. You don't ever see them again. This administration has created an absolute mess. It is unbelievable. I can't even, we have so many small businesses that are strangled for labor right now because these workers that they had at one time or could have can do better staying at home. That I know we've talked about, and I understand that some people kind of refer to it and joke about it. It's not a joke. It's real, and it's unfathomable that our country can be in this position.
I just don't know how they climb out of any of the holes that they're in. And there's
so many. It's not like there's just one hole that they're underwater or they're deep into. There's so many of them.
No, I mean, it's the economy, it's inflation, it's the border crisis, it's now COVID. Like, there was 200,000 new cases of COVID yesterday.
And I don't know you, Ryan, you haven't been out and about as much here the last few days, but I'm sure visiting with people, I know more people right now personally that have COVID than I have from the beginning. Right now, actively have COVID.
COVID's worse, inflation's worse, the economy's worse, nobody wants a job, border crisis, everyone in all the other countries thinks he's a buffoon. Like, if I was them, what I would suggest, because now Manchin isn't going to vote for his Build Back broke, better, kill America thing.
Tax and spend. Let's call it that.
So that's done. They need a win. Like they need some type of win, like something.
I think they'll restructure the tax and spend, build back bullshit crap, and downsize it so they can say they got something through. That is my guess.
I don't know if that works because there's just like Manchin just
don't you think the squad will throw a fit over something like that and then they won't vote for it?
Yeah, there's like this was the best they could get to make everybody on their side happy, and so I don't know, but like if I was them, I would have like a severe sit down and a meeting with the best minds that I could find and be like, can we fix any one of these issues? And if they can fix one of the issues, that's what they need to do. Because Homeboy needs a win. Because it's not just like, this is affecting way more than him. This is going to be the whole thing for the midterm election. They've got to get something, or they're just going to get slaughtered. Like, there's no one happy.
No, I mean, it's going to be like we've never seen unless something
like
drastically
the Democrats aren't
changes.
even happy.
No, they're very unhappy. Think about all those lines you see for people lining up to try to get COVID testing. And Biden said he was going to have 500 million home test kits, and they haven't even ordered the damn things.
Oh, he met with the governors today, and he told the governors that the way that COVID is going to be solved is at the state level, not the federal. He's done.
I heard that when I was coming, just pulling in. I heard some. Can you believe this?
So the governors are to fix COVID, not him.
Yet the governor, your governor there in Texas, isn't even allowed, can't get the federal government to enforce any immigration laws, can't protect that southern border without the federal government fighting back.
Right.
It's unbelievable. So the federal government can intrude upon the state's rights when it so chooses. But if it's a little inconvenient, well, it's the state needs to take care of it.
It's not Biden's problem. COVID is no longer Biden's problem. It's the governor's problem.
Well, I'm gonna go back just a little bit. You brought up inflation, and I had a chart. My son Dylan is big into the financial markets and tries to keep me updated on these things. But he pulled up a chart the other day that shows you how much basically, and again, from a technical standpoint, I'm sure I'm going to get this wrong. So please don't hold me to every single word. But the gist of it is, from the Federal Reserve, this chart showed how much money the Federal Reserve has allowed to be created / printed, however you want to state it. And it's going over, I think, 20 or so years, and it's staying at a 5,000 billion. It's in billions, the chart. It's at 5,000. All of a sudden it spikes. When COVID hit, it's up around 80 versus 5. So we've increased many fold. But essentially what that tells us is there has been more money created by the Federal Reserve. Not that it's all been released right now. A lot of it's going into buying bonds and different things that we had to do. But because of all the stimulus that has gone out there, we have more of the U.S. dollar in circulation now by a large amount. In other words, if I want to throw a number at it, you've got at least 40% of all the money that the Fed's ever created was created in the past 16, 18 months. Do you know what that's going to do once all of that? We're already seeing it. Guess what happens when all of that hits the system? And other countries are doing the same. We have what we call currency, yet we no longer have to back that up by gold. So we can print literally as much money as you want, and that's what's happened to other countries, and their money devalues to nothing. Well, guess what? We're going down that path. And I think that a lot of other countries in the world are basically printing money like crazy to try to get out of COVID and the Chinese pandemic that they threw upon us to survive. It's the politicians that put the policy in place. I don't blame the Federal Reserve for doing this because I don't know that they had any other choice. But between the politicians and the Fed having to do this and everything else that's going on around the world, inflation worldwide is literally out of control. And there is one thing that I can say that maybe is going to help us with this long term, and that's cryptocurrency, right? All of a sudden, we have a type of currency through the blockchain technology. Most of them have caps on it. Just like the U.S. dollar, we can keep printing that forever, an infinite amount. Then it becomes almost invaluable, or not invaluable, of no value. Where we have cryptocurrency, there's only so much of, let's say, Bitcoin, and no more is going to be made. So we have to continue to trade within that amount, which makes perfect sense to me. I don't know. I know when I visit with my son Dylan about these things, it scares the hell out of me how there's any value in the American dollar right now whatsoever.
That sounds lovely, Dale.
Brian, I'd be happy to give you all my cash if you'd like to give me a couple fur coats. I'll trade for your wardrobe.
That sounds lovely, Dale. You're just so full of
I'm just trying to get across some of these. This is terrible. I mean, absolutely. It's staggering the amount of money that they've had to inject into the system. And I'm not saying that I think a lot of the political spending on COVID, I think some families needed help. I can assure you the $300 and some tax credit, which are really not giving us money for per child or whatever it is, when that check shows up every month, I shake my head and think, why are they sending this to me? Not that I don't want the government handouts, because somebody's going to get them, but it's ridiculous. The amount of money that they put out in stimulus to different businesses, some deserving, some not, some that probably were deserving that didn't get it, just how ill spent it was. I cannot imagine how many hundreds of billions of dollars went out that was misappropriated. And ultimately, our country is going to pay the price for it.
It's a hot mess.
It's terrible. Absolutely
mess.
Terrible. So
hot mess.
I don't know. I get very, very discouraged.
I don't know what these people are going to do, but like when the people in your own party are like mad at you and throwing eggs at you, you got issues. So
you do.
I don't know.
And I don't even know when we come out for current events, Ryan, I don't know which disaster to talk about.
Yeah, it's
normally if we just had one of a dozen, I don't know how many. There's at least 6 or 7 huge ones, and you could go on forever. Normally, if you just had one of those to talk about, that'd take up quite a bit of time. You'd really be focused on it and think, well, how is this possible? There's so many, I can't even begin. Maybe that means we need to move on to the main topic.
Wait, what about your UFOs?
Dang. See, I get so worked up about that other. Well, we have a situation, Ryan. What happens when I'm in a truck for nearly 30 hours by the time we stop through Oklahoma to get to Arizona National?
You listen to every podcast known to man. And poor Tara and Craig. I feel like y'all need to start a GoFundMe for Craig and Tara so they can fly home and they don't have to deal with Dale.
No, there was some podcasts that I listened to, but I also just search on the internet. So we're going to go back to this alien thing. And I have not talked about this for a while, Ryan. I have not. I've left it alone. I got some hate mail, some mail that was positive. I think that the livestock world, I may be in the minority that believes there's probably something else out there. And I did a little more research on this. And the further I dig into this, and Joe Rogan actually had a podcast on this that he brought a guest in that was just so crystal clear, and probably because I agreed with it, I liked it that much. If we just take the simplicity, Ryan, that there's infinite number of universes, that means there's infinite numbers of probably other life forms out there. It's not a question whether other life forms are out there. It's a question of whether we would ever coincide with them, that we would ever pass by chance or whatever that may be. And there's dollars being spent through NASA and our federal government to reach out, to send signals out, to see if there's anybody out there. Time out, people. We have the U.S. military that has radar documentation, video documentation, pilots that have seen these things for themselves of some type of craft. I'm not saying alien. I don't care what it is. Russian, Chinese. Maybe it came from under the ocean. I don't know where it came from, but I am absolutely 100% positive there is something out there that is much, much further advanced than anything that we can come up with, and I hope anything the Russians and or Chinese. And it sounds like they could never be as advanced as what we have absolute proof of. And at some time, this information is going to come out, more of it. And I don't know. I'm going to throw something out there that some people don't want to think about it because there's nothing they can do about it. And I agree with that. If there's something out there with that advanced of technology, we don't have a chance fighting them. We can't do that. We just hope we never run into a conflict with them. But my hope is, and I think I've mentioned this before, I'm pretty sure they've been around for a very, very long time. And for some reason, whether we're an experiment for them, whether they just choose not to have a conflict with us, I don't know what that is. But they haven't done anything yet. As long as we do not provoke something, maybe we'll be fine. But I did spend a lot of time in the truck, and I did research this hard, and I could go on for a very, very long time. But I thought I'd at least give a few of those out there that kind of egged me on to talk about this, that, guys, I haven't changed my mind on this whatsoever. Again, I'm not saying it's alien, but I'm saying there is something. And it is very well documented by our government and been declassified, at least some of the information, not all of it. where you can't question that there's some type of craft or vehicle that we cannot explain. You can determine what that is. I don't have a clue what that might be.
Do you feel better now?
I do feel better, and I did listen to a couple other ones mostly about cryptocurrency, but we'll leave that until next time.
I'm glad you got that off your chest and you feel better.
Now, Ryan, you're kind of non-committal on this. After what I just said, do you disbelieve that there's some type of craft that's entered our atmosphere or come up from underneath or was created on this planet?
I never said I do not believe that there is some other form of being somewhere in one of the galaxies, universes, solar system, whatever. I have never said that. I'm not disagreeing with you. I think that you take it a little far. I just don't think that they're...
What about some type of craft that's that advanced that we have seen here on this planet?
Dude, I think they're looking at us and saying, I don't want to go anywhere near that. I'm just being honest.
I'm with you. It intrigues me. I don't know why. I think what intrigues me is that I am curious to better understand whatever that technology is that they have, because it's something we would never get to in my lifetime, and it's out there and somebody has it and I want to understand it. How's that for an explanation?
I'm with you. I just wanted to make sure you got that off your chest and you feel better about it.
No, I appreciate that. Otherwise, I'd have probably driven home and heard more podcasts. And
people beat up on me because you do have fans out there that like to hear you talk about aliens and UFOs, and then they act like I discourage you. So I wanted to make sure you got that out. So
well, I appreciate it. No, that is.
I told him not to forget about his little Joe Rogan podcast and all this other bullshit.
I'll remember, I'll look at what episode number that was, but it was a good one. He did a nice job. I mean, it's very factual. This was a guy he was interviewing that had been in the government under many presidents. Appeared to be a very knowledgeable, very reliable kind of a source.
There you go.
With that, let's move on to our main topic. And as I hear an announcement in the background, it's probably got a lot of background noise here on us. I'm sitting at my children's stalls, and I have 3 boxel blowers beside me that I'm excited to have. And again, huge supporter of the quality of those blowers and just how fast they can get things done. And want to thank Mr. Boxel and Boxel Manufacturing for all they do to support this podcast.
Well, there you go.
Do you have any sponsors you'd like to bring on, Ryan?
I've kind of fallen behind on this, and I do have some new sponsors, but I haven't it's been Christmas, and so I don't have the graphics out, but we do have some new sponsors coming out and some good stuff happening. But yeah, I'm not with it quite as well. I'm still in Santa land right now.
We didn't talk about how was Santa. How spoiled were you Christmas Day?
See, I am an only child, and therefore I am very spoiled. But then, because I had this, problem, this injury, basically I got way more spoiled because, sympathy. So yeah, I had a great Christmas.
And you didn't play it up 100%. You didn't.
Oh, 1000% duh.
So it went well.
Look, I was a terrible child. I am a model adult child because they bribed me. Okay? It's fine. They bribed me to act good.
And it works. You go along with it.
Exactly. I am completely transparent about it. I am fine with it. I own it. But yeah, you give me nice things and I will act good. So when y'all see me at the Cattlemen's Congress, I have lots of new wardrobe items. Very, very excited about.
Well, you will break some of these out for the Cattlemen's Congress. I know
first, without a doubt.
I think the first, we go straight from Phoenix. Our manager's flying home so he can bring the cattle out to Cattlemen's Congress. We're going straight with the truck and trailer here to Phoenix or to Oklahoma City. The first day we're there, Ryan, it's in the 30s. So you can break out all the furs.
Oh, it's going to be very cold. I have already looked.
No, but then I think it bumps up into the 50s. I think that's the only real bad day.
That's still cold.
What does it need to be to wear a fur coat? Are we in the 50 degrees about the line?
Yeah, 50 and below. We're good. So, yeah. I've got an astronaut jacket. I've got a black shiny jacket. I got fur coats. I got some sparkly ass shoes. I'm ready. I am ready. Most ready.
I love it.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be good. I look forward to Congress, and there is. Remember, I told you about that little Mexican restaurant just off the grounds.
Oh, Jesus Christ! I'm so sick and tired of hearing about the Mexican.
Well, my family brought it up on the way in here. Said, "Well, where are we eating in Oklahoma City?" And my wife explained to them that we will probably stop at one place every evening, the same place, 8-9 days in a row.
Ugh,
And you know, Ryan, I'd take you there. I'll even buy your dinner.
that's so nice of you, Dale.
Yeah, it costs like $6.
Oh, high quality here.
It is the best quality. Just because place is not perfectly clean and it's not expensive does not mean the food isn't amazing.
Okay, lovely.
With that, main topic today: New Year, new you.
Yeah,
New year. No, aren't you excited about a new you? Because the end of 2021 and you physically have not been good.
no, it's not been good, so it's going to get better. But by the time this drops, like, I think New Year's Eve will have happened, maybe. I don't know. I think, or be close to New Year's Eve. Yeah, no, it will be New Year's Eve when this drops. So there you go. I had to look at my calendar. What is it about between Christmas and New Year's? You never know what the damn date is. Like,
I'm with you. I've been off on the day of the week it is, let alone an actual day.
Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, so when this drops on, it will be New Year's Eve. And first off, we want to wish everybody a happy New Year's Eve and great things for 2022. And be safe when you're partying on New Year's Eve. No drinking and driving.
Do not be stupid. Drink all you want. Uber.
No drinking and driving.
Lyft. Call Ryan. He'll come pick you up in the Escalade.
No, do not call me. Do not.
Will you have your vehicle at Congress?
Oh yes, I will have my vehicle.
So you can anybody at Cattleman's Congress that stays out a little late, maybe give Ryan a call. He'll give you a ride back to the hotel.
No, I will not.
Well,
no,
yes,
no.
You're promoting Be Safe.
Yeah, that's what they make Uber and Lyft for.
Oh.
Download the app.
Got it.
No one wants to ride with me sober, okay?
Yeah, I get it. I get it completely. I've rode with you a little ways. I didn't think it was that bad.
Yeah, because I was highly focused on my driving when you were in there because I knew you were scared. But
what else do you have for us for the new year? New you.
Again, when this drops on Friday, this will be the first weekend of the BTRJLA show season because it starts on January 1 and there's a bunch of shows.
And there are several shows, I think, on that first couple of days, are there not?
Oh, God, yeah. There's like 12 the first weekend or something. It's crazy.
So I had a former student call me. They have a show in Ohio on the 1st and 2nd, wanting to know if we could kind of plug that for them. And I said, well, I don't think it drops until the night before, so it's probably going to do no good. And we obviously can't plug every show that we sanction, but it is intriguing to me that, wow, it's here. It's going to start. They're excited about it. I did discuss with him, well, what about getting sanctioned, all those things, and getting your results in? I think they're using a ShowWorks program, and he's already talked to him about it. They're basically, it says drop dead simple. He does not have to do anything different, nothing.
Again, since this is all starting up this week, this coming weekend, or whatever, if you haven't signed up for BTRJLA, go to the website, BTRJLA.com. You can sign up for membership. It's $50 per species. And you can sign up for one species or two or three or four, or how, you can be all species member, but it's $50 a species, super simple. You can only sign up on the website. That's the only way to become a member. You can't mail stuff in. You can't do that. You've got to go to the website to join.
What about those that are here at Arizona National? I could take cash membership fees right here, right now.
No, you can give them their computer and you can let them sign up.
Got it. Well, I am guilty. My wife is signing our children up. She said I don't know if she did when she was home before she got out here. But so Ryan, since maybe you could help me out here a little bit, could we maybe put our GOAT points from Arizona on this?
No. Arizona National will be the last show of the first year. So it'll be next year's Arizona.
So we need to attend next year to make sure to get those points.
That's right.
And Arizona would be considered a national show.
Yes, so it will be double points, but it will.
There's been a little confusion. Can you define the national show for us better? I've had that asked to me, and I hope I give them the right answer.
Yeah, there's only a certain number of shows that are going to count double points, and we're calling them national shows. And what it is to be a national show is it has to be open to everyone in the United States and all species. So it's like Denver, Arizona, Louisville, Kansas City, and Congress. But on Denver's pigs cannot count double points because it's a lottery, so not everyone can show there. So it will just be regular points. You'll still get points, but it'll be regular points. All the other ones will be double points. And Congress, you will get double points for cattle.
Got it, because everybody can be there for cattle. Well, right. It gets a little confusing, and we'll continue to I assume, continue to get more of those things on the website just so people understand what's double points and what's not.
Already on the website.
We have all the national shows listed.
Yes.
Got it. Because I was confused earlier when I asked you about like a junior national, the Angus Junior National, single points or double points.
The reason that those, what we're calling the national shows, are double points is because those shows have been around for a long time, or they've been proven to be a high level of competition. Some junior nationals have steer shows. Some junior nationals don't have steer shows. Some junior nationals are super big and super competitive, and some of them aren't. But there's no doubt that the level of competition at Kansas City, Louisville, Denver, Phoenix, etc., Congress, that's a high level of competition across all breeds. And so that's what we determine. Those major shows will be the national shows that will count double points.
Good explanation. That makes perfect sense. And I know I've expressed this before on here, Ryan, but the level of sponsorship in where they're coming from people that maybe have not sponsored other shows before, it's hard for me to show enough appreciation for the people that are doing this for us.
Oh yeah, sponsorship has just been overwhelming. And again, like I said, I think the coolest thing about this is how many different people and different businesses have sponsored, and just run through that. Our corporate sponsor is Showcoat Solutions. Our all-around sponsor is Oldwood Limited. Cattle sponsor is Langford, Hereford, and Hybrid. Sheep sponsor is Platinum Shelton Livestock. The pig sponsor is McGrew Equipment, and goat sponsor is S&R Meat Goats. We've got lots of top 10 jacket and top 10 national award sponsors: the Magnus Family, Ranch House Design, South Texas Show Series, Bullseye Ranch, Stock Show Auctions, and Crownstone Manufacturing. You know, on the regional level, the way our things work is if you sponsor a species in the region, then you will have a full awards program. And so like Region 3, cattle, sheep, pig, and goat are all been sponsored. And that's thanks to Kiefer Auctions, South Texas Show Series, Scott Stedgy Family, and the Roof Depot and the Hill Family. Region 4, Maple Show Cattle, has sponsored the cattle side. Region 5 is all of the species are sponsored thanks to Stock Show Therapies, Izzy P, At Home, Putney Show Pigs, and Homestead Feed and Supply. And then in Region 6, we have sheep and goat sponsored, and that's thanks to the Independence Day Shootout and to the Interstate Showdown Series. So again, we've got a lot of the regions sponsored, so they'll have a full awards program. And what that means is, when we're talking about a full-scale awards program, is those species that are sponsored in our 4 age divisions, which are novice, junior, intermediate, and senior, there will be a top 10 awarded in each of those regions for those kids. And again, when we get further into this, as far as awards go, the top 10 cattle, goat, lamb, and pig exhibitors are going to receive an NFR type jacket. I don't know if y'all ever seen those jackets that they give the top 10 NFR cowboys, but that's what we're going to style it after. In any race whatsoever at all, whether it is a national, a regional, or a state, the winner in all of those divisions is going to get a second to none belt buckle. That we are working on the designs of those right now with Blake. And so hopefully, probably in the spring, we'll be able to show you those. And other awards for the rest of the top 10. So lots, I mean, I don't like to tell Dale these things because he freaks out, but we're going to award over 1,500 awards next year already. And we haven't even started.
Oh my. What about the Jared Sliff carvings? So do we bring those into play?
The Jared Sliff carvings are for the top point getter in each of the 4 species. Goats. Yeah.
So 4 of those. Do you know what those cost?
Yes, I do. $1,000.
He's going to give you a break, right?
I don't think so. There was no break mentioned to me. You need to do the negotiating there.
Oh my. I can see more expenses coming in than what we have in the account to pay for them.
Well, we'll make it work. But again, we're going to give some really neat awards. We're very excited. We're thrilled with the number of members that we have before it ever started. But we always want more. And I understand that there's a little hesitancy and everybody's kind of wait and see. But one thing later, by the time you hear this, you should be able to go onto our website and see your participation points. Everybody gets 10 points for signing up. So by Friday, those points should be on there. So if you have joined, go on there, make sure your points are listed. If they're not, email us and we'll get it fixed. But we have all the members up to date, and we're ready for these first shows this weekend. And talking about shows, our calendar's up there. It's through right now. It's just January, February, and March. We're going to add April here coming up. Hopefully, maybe by the end of this week, first next week. But calendar's on there. There's a bunch of shows all throughout. But on the show deal, I don't know how to make this any simpler, but I'm just going to say it one more time so everybody can understand. For 2022, sanctioning is free to all shows. Like, it's free today, it's free tomorrow, it's free for the rest of the year in 2022 to sanction a show. No money whatsoever at all. I don't know why when we put these graphics up, they think it's just that day that you can sanction.
But I think it works. It gets more sanctioning that day. It's okay.
It's free every day. It's free every day. All you have to do to be a BTRJLA sanctioned show is there is a form that will take less than 10 minutes to fill out, and you have to email that to us. And then once your show is over, you email or snail mail us the results in whatever format you have them in. Showworks, spreadsheet, whatever y'all use. I don't care what it is.
Steno notebook. We're good. Yeah. Doesn't matter.
Just send us the results and we'll get the points counted.
Is there a number they could text results to?
No, not that I'm aware of.
But you can work on that. That would be easy, just to take a picture of what you have in front of you and text it.
Well, I mean, they could text my number if they want to do it that way, which it's on the website. So yeah, I guess you can. Yeah.
Yeah, just not mine. I am the least, or I lose everything. Period. So do not text me any results. That would be terrible.
But it's literally that simple. And like, I get asked a million questions, and like, that's all there is to it. That is it. I don't know how you can make anything any simpler than what I've done it. You fill out a form, you send it in, you send in the results. That's all there is. You don't have to change any rules. You don't have to go by our age divisions. You don't have to let the world show. None of that. You do your show just as you've always been doing it, or how you want to do it. You fill out a form, send it in to me, and send in the results. That's it.
This is what I think is the most unique, Ryan. You've created a system, and I had nothing to do with creating the system. Zero. You may have asked me about something here or there, but I had nothing to do with it. But you've created a system that allows inclusion of basically every show in the country, and they do not have to do anything different. I'm not saying every one of them that we couldn't have a system that's more specific and breaks out points more and all those things. But to be able to include all the shows in a manner that you have put this system together and programmed it, it's incredible. If you would have came to me, and you did a few years ago, and I just said, I just don't think you can do it because every show's so much different, all those things. But in your mind, you'd already thought through it, and it's simple. It's easy. No, I did not think it can be done. You have absolutely proved me wrong on that one.
In terms of the deal, that's how you sanction a show. The one thing that I want to tell people about this is a lot of these shows may not know about us. You may go to them, whatever. The one thing I want to say to anybody that's trying to get a show sanctioned, or that wants a show to be sanctioned, or you want your show to be sanctioned, or one you're going to, etc. Here's one thing. If you want it on the calendar, we're going to need the form 30 days before the event. Okay, that's the only way I can guarantee you that you're on the calendar. But also, I'm not going to say that if you go to a show and you get there and it's not sanctioned and you talk to them and they say, yeah, we'll fill out the form now and we'll send in the results, we will take that show this year because we know that everybody's learning whatever. But I want people to know that especially for shows that are doing this to get more kids to go and stuff like that, if you want to be on the calendar that's on our website so everybody knows you're a BTRJLA show, I have to have that form 30 days before your event.
Fair enough. Ryan, guess what just walked by?
What?
In the goat barn, goat and sheep barn. I don't want to discriminate. Let's Go Brandon hoodie.
Oh,
I'm seeing them everywhere.
That's great.
It's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Let's Go Brandon.
Yeah.
You agree with Let's Go Brandon?
Yeah, I'm a big fan.
When our president agrees with it, I think everybody should.
Duh. I mean, he's the uniter, but anyhow.
There is something else, kind of going back off topic here. Guess what else I'm staring up at, and it's looking down at me, and I'm sure got the Let's Go Brandon on camera. New at Arizona National, they have security cameras in the barn.
Why?
We no longer have to worry about people coming through. Remember, you talked about those fairgoers, and you don't have a lot of them here that wander through the barns.
They don't have fairgoers at Arizona National.
No, I'm just saying those are the things you wouldn't have to worry about. I'm happy just to have it up there. Just the more security, the better. A lot of times they talk about having security guards out at these shows, and I rarely see them, but they have got a new camera system, and these cameras drop down from the ceiling just about everywhere.
Dear Lord.
Good. It's good. All good. Well, I think that as we move into 2022, and Ryan, you made reference to it, some people are a little hesitant. Are we going to become a member? Are we not? Are we going to sanction to the show? I can tell you the response that I have seen thus far for the first year is tenfold what I thought it even could be. So, yeah, I understand. I'm one that usually wants to wait to see how things are going to shake out before we jump in and do things. But I cannot see this not going well or not working. We're going the right direction. Everything is in place, and Ryan's got the right people behind it that all of those are firing on all cylinders. And it's going to be a good 2022. It's going to be a great 2022.
Well, and the one thing, again, I think the biggest hesitation for most people in terms of sanctioning shows, and I understand it, they think that we are trying to compete with the show series at the state level or the regional level or stuff like, or other associations, and that's not it at all, because that's not what we're trying to do. We want to be inclusive, not exclusive. That's why you don't have to change any rules. That's why you don't have to do anything different. You just send in the results, send in a form, send in the results. But what we are, and this is why we're not competing with anybody, there is no one else that has a national all species points program for junior livestock exhibitors. We're it. So there is no competition. And I'm not saying that, being a jackass. I'm just being honest. This is the first one. Not saying they won't pop one up tomorrow, but right now, this is it. And so we're not competing against anybody. And it's the fact that a kid can win an award on 3 different levels, at state, regional, and the national levels. We just want to give these kids as many opportunities to succeed as they can. And we want to work with, whether you're an individual show, whether you're a show series or an association. But I understand it. I get it. Like I said, my mother runs the Texas Junior Livestock Association. And she wasn't real at first. She's like, I don't know about all this.
But she's good now.
Right. She's good now. And so I get where they're coming from. But I think, again, as you watch throughout the year and see the points go up and see the way we run things, you'll understand more and more people will come to the realization that we're really not competing against anybody. We're not trying to put anybody out of business or anything like that. We're just trying to give more opportunities for kids. And I was talking to a gentleman the other day about, he was deciding whether he wanted to sanction his show or not. And he's like, well, what if I'm reading your bylaws here and it says that you only get to count 1 head per show? I said, yes, sir, that's right. He says, well, what if a kid shows 12? I said, that's great. I said, but he's still only going to, I said, that kid is only going to get to count their highest animal. He says, well, I don't think that's fair. I said, obviously you were somebody that showed a lot of them. I'm somebody that showed a lot of them. Well, why you may not think that's fair. What about the kid that only has 1 in the barn? It's also not fair to that kid for the kid to get to count 12. And so we've tried to make this as fair and even to where the kid that has 1 or the kid that's got 10 on feed, they can still compete. And so it is just 1, your highest point getting animal per ring. We're only counting your highest 10 rings of competition. And I've had to explain this to shows. We're not trying to discourage people from entering or showing more or going to as many shows as possible. because we know there's going to be ties, and the tiebreakers for us is the total number of points that you accumulate throughout the year. So if you are showing 12 at a show and you go to 30 shows instead of 10 and you end up in a tie and the other person went to 10, you're going to win the tie break. So there is an incentive for showing more and showing more often, but it's also balanced out that everybody should be able to stand a chance to win an award in this association.
And it's not taking the competition, the competitive spirit away. It's just allowing everybody to play in the same field.
Right.
Still compete as hard as you possibly can. And you referred to your mom's show series. And there's a lot of state-sponsored show series that are like, well, why do we want to belong to this when we have our own? Again, it's even at the state level, we're not competing against you at all.
Nope.
You continue to do exactly what you're doing. This is just an additional way to get those kids recognized.
Right.
That's simple. More recognition for the kids stimulates more interest, gets more kids involved, keeps more kids involved. It's positive from every angle.
Yes, sir. I could have a podcast on this every week, and I don't think I'd get every question answered. But if you do have questions, you can either message the Beyond the Ring Junior Livestock Association Facebook. You can email us at info@BTRJLA.com. Sign your kids up, get your show sanctioned. It's all coming down to start here this week, and we are very excited and very grateful to all our sponsors and to all our members and all of the shows that have sanctioned so far. And we look forward to welcoming many, many more over this year and the course of lots of years to come. And so, because again, that's one thing I was talking to Mandy from Oldwood Limited, our national all-around sponsor, and we were talking about how some people are skeptical and all this other stuff. And I just said, I don't think they know me very well, because I don't give up. If anything, I don't give up. So I don't want y'all to think that this is going to be a one and done. I'm not going anywhere anytime soon. I'm going to prove to the world and to Stock Show Nation that this is going to work and it's going to be great for kids.
I love it. Absolutely love it. 2 more Let's Go Brandon hoodies went by, Ryan.
Dale, are you selling them?
No, it makes me feel good when I see them.
Oh, my Lord.
Absolutely makes sense. Somebody's selling a lot of them. I can assure you that is going to be the most sold t-shirt hoodie on the planet.
Oh, my God.
Maybe of all time.
Oh, Lord.
Do you know what it is time for?
No question and answer.
And we're going to start off going to ease you into today's, okay?
Right.
Ease you into it. Remember last week, you remember you weren't feeling the best, so we went kind of easy on you.
Yeah.
I didn't grab one of those. Damn, that's the question that's going to get Ryan fired up. Okay, this question comes in, and I'm not at home, not at my desk. I don't know who this question came from. How's that, Ryan? I just don't.
Lord.
I'm sure it's somebody. I could go backtrack it. Just be happy I found some here this morning.
That's nice.
Question for Ryan.
Great.
I'm a little hurt by this one.
Uh-huh.
Recommendations were to buy stunning show shirts. I see pictures of other stock show kids with awesome looking show shirts. I don't know where to look to find some.
I haven't had a kid show in 3 years, so I'm kind of out of the practice of shopping for them. If it's a boy, I think polo is the way to go.
That's it. See, we would have answered that the same. It's easy. You go buy a long sleeve button-down polo shirt.
Yeah, and I mean, they've got them in multicolors and stuff like that.
Easy on the colors.
Everybody asks what my shirts are, and I'm just going to tell you, you can go look at my shirts, but you'll be like, Dale, when you see what they cost, you'll probably go into sticker shock. And I'm not going to deny that, but my shirts, 95% of them are Robert Graham. And Robert Graham does make shirts for men and women, but they are very expensive. But that's what my shirts are. Girls' shirts, the best thing that I get people asked all the time, where do you find your blazers? Where do you do all this? I just you literally Google and you could put pink paisley long sleeve female shirt or whatever. Just Google search. I mean, get specific on what you want. And that's how to find things best. There is another Rock and Roll Soul has some good ones that are way less expensive than Robert Graham. And then literally the best advice I can give you is get very specific in your Google search on what you want, whether like the color, if you want a paisley, if you want a plaid, if you want an animal print, whatever, men's, women's, long sleeve, button down, just get as specific as you can. And I promise you something will turn up.
Excellent. And by the way, Ryan, the polo shirts are relatively expensive, just in case you're wondering.
Okay.
I don't like buying them. I have a lot of them, but I think they're overpriced.
Okay.
If you're not going to the show, I would say untuck it. That's easy. Go to the website, order them.
Oh, sweet
Lots
Jesus.
of them.
Do you own stock in Untuckit?
No, but I don't know if it's a publicly traded company.
Oh, God. Okay.
But I would be okay with it. I think it's a great product.
It's lovely.
Maybe we can get them to do a little sponsoring in our association.
Let's not.
Possibly. Good answer. Now, was that not painless?
That was very painless.
Okay, the next one was what I call a walk-up Q&A. Here at the Arizona Nationals in the Goat Barn, I had a young man by the name of Creed come up to me, and he says, I have a question for a question and answer. When breeders are judging shows, are they oftentimes selecting for something they need or want in their herd? Or are they selecting goats or lambs or pigs or cattle exactly like the race?
Well,
does that make any sense to you?
No, it's a good question, but I think we've gone over this before. And again, I think the thing about judging is not only judging is just everything. Everything in your life is a result of your genetics and your environment. I don't care if it's the stock you raise or you yourself or all this other stuff. So yes, I think when breeders are judging their experiences with their own herd and their own genetics, yes, that is going to affect their priorities and how they sort and what they think is more valuable and less valuable. So yeah, I think it plays a big factor. I mean, I don't know many judges that breed really stout, thick, square ones that go out there and pick perfect fronted ones. So I think they probably do sort for what works for them and what their breeding program strengths are.
Well, I think that's good. And I get where the question's coming from, and you're always trying to fit the judge and things like that. I can give you two very different examples. If I'm judging a goat show, Ryan, and I get pretty excited about those unique things, those things that are hard to make. And I've got a goat out there that throws his head up and kind of struts out like a show pony. Head and neck perfect, feet and legs perfect, looks really good, still has an athletic, muscular build. Those things hit me pretty hard. Is there any practicality into it? No, it's pretty much all show ring, but wow, does it get my attention. If I walk into a cattle show and I see one that's just so good on their pasterns and their hock and their knees, their joints are just super flexible, those kind of things get me pretty excited. So I probably put a little more emphasis on those. And I think the question a little bit was that breeder maybe is searching for something. And if they're searching and trying to breed for that, maybe that one thing does get a little more emphasis, but it goes right back to exactly what you said. It's just the environment that person was raised in and what they're doing right now. What they're experiencing every day is going to impact how they sort livestock. And it's not all going to be done the same. And that's part of the beauty of it.
So very good question.
That was, the good walk-up. Okay, I have one final question. This was actually suggested as a topic. I'm going to leave this person's name off just because I don't know how this is going to go. Future topic is how it came in.
This is going to be terrible. I'm telling you right now. I can tell.
Future topic, but we're just going to throw it in the question and answer just because it's convenient. Women in livestock judging. Half the team members in high school and or college are female. Where's the female or women coaches? Title IX. Why are most coaching positions predominantly male? What needs to change? There are some phenomenal female livestock judges in the ring. Is there a true equality? This would be a great discussion.
Mm-hmm.
How you doing, Ryan?
I'm not doing well. I'm not.
There are
doing
some
well
great female judges that are in the ring.
Okay,
There's some
before
great
I
ones on
get
judging
into
teams.
before I get into this, I think there are many, many, many talented, extremely intelligent, articulate female judges in every single species. I think their girls are just as successful at livestock judging team members as boys. All this other stuff.
Maybe even more in some cases.
No doubt. There are some women coaches out there. There aren't as many as there are men. I can't explain that for you. I don't know why, and I'm fixing to get really, really worked up. But women are great, and they are great judges and all that. I do not care what color your skin is. I do not care what color your gender is. I do not care what your sexual orientation is. I do not give a shit about any of that. None of that should determine whether you should get to judge a livestock show. None of it. None of it.
Male, female, purple, green,
I do
black,
not
white.
care. None of that should make a flip about who does or who does not get to judge a livestock show. If you are honest, if you are respected, if you are intelligent, if you are good to the kids, if you are doing it for the right reasons instead of doing it to trade favors for the next time you show it or something, those are the reasons why people should get asked to sort shows. I don't ever want to be asked to judge a show because I'm gay. I don't think I should not get to judge a show because I'm gay, but I don't ever want to be given an opportunity to judge a show because I am gay, and therefore I am a minority in this deal. It burns me up when people do stuff like this. I mean, literally, my face is burning right now. I hate when people think because you are a minority or you are gay or you are a female that makes you should get to do something that other people don't. That's not it. None of that matters. None of it. None of it matters. What matters is what you do out the ring, how you conduct yourselves, and how good you are with the kids. Not the color of your skin, not your gender, and not who you're attracted to.
At this point, I'd just be thrilled if they come out there and keep the political crap out of it, sort them how they want, talk them as accurately as they can, and away we go.
Exactly. And you are capable of doing that if you are a man, a woman, a homosexual, whatever. Anybody is capable of doing it.
I don't know about the extreme liberal left. I'm not sure they should walk in the ring.
I don't think they're judging shows anytime soon.
Okay, well that's good. I would oppose that. I'm gonna help this young lady out that asked the question because I understand what she's saying, and I don't think she's against what you're saying at all, Ryan. I think it's maybe just the fact if half of those on judging teams, high school and collegiate, are female, and in our show industry, I don't know, Ryan. I'd say it's probably close across species, male and female showing, maybe more female in some of the species. I don't know, but there's no question there's a similar amount of female youth and male youth involved in showing and judging activities at this point. It's close, but we don't see the same number of female coaches proportionally or female judges proportionally. So I guess I understand where the question stems from. I don't have an absolute answer other than what Ryan gave, and it really should not matter anything beyond how they're going to conduct themselves in that ring and how well they can describe livestock and treat the kids. Everything that Ryan said.
Also, Dale, I'm pretty well plugged into the collegiate judging deal, and I don't know a bunch of young ladies out there applying for jobs that aren't getting them. So
yeah, I don't ever hear that being a problem.
So
exactly.
Again, this isn't something that, all these women are trying to become collegiate judging coaches and no one will hire them. I don't want people to think that either.
I think if that situation came up and they didn't get hired as a female, I think we would hear about it.
Yeah. So that's not the case either. I mean, so it goes to the point that obviously there's just not as many girls interested in those types of positions as there are males.
I think that's exactly right. As they get done with their show career or collegiate judging career, there's not as high a proportion of them that want to continue to go on to either coach and or judge shows. I don't know this to be absolute, but it seems to be logical, doesn't it?
Yeah, no.
Well, good. Well, Ryan, I appreciate it. I apologize to everybody for the background noise, but certainly enjoyable here in Arizona. Had a beautiful day, 67 degrees, sunny yesterday. It's cooling off a little bit, maybe some rain coming in, but we're happy to be in Arizona, happy for how user-friendly this show is, and that they keep putting their best foot forward and making some changes to try to make things better.
Very angry it's warm. Very angry.
I mean, today 50s, so probably just as warm in Crockett, Texas.
The last time I was there, I was freezing to death. Y'all all had
Rain, cold.
barns. I was out there. Yeah, I was freezing to death. Very angry.
Exactly. And I very much look forward to the Cattlemen's Congress and spending some time with you there, even if you don't. So are you saying, you're going on record, you do not want to go to my little Mexican restaurant?
Dale, if it will make you happy, I will go one time.
I would, because I think you're going to determine it's the best food you've ever had.
Oh, my God. Shoot me now.
I'm excited about Congress. We're taking some bulls. Ryan's going to be there, I believe, sorting some cattle, some Brahmins.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And it'll be good. Got some beef masters showing up. It's going to be a good week or so out there. We're looking forward to it. Until then, be safe.
Happy New Year, and y'all come back now. You hear?